Hey, what up, everybody? Stevie Breach coming to you. Last night, I had intentions of going into Monday Night Raw that they were going to give me something that was going to make me believe that CM Punk had a chance to beat Brock Lesnar. After last night's show, they got in a big brawl, a big brouhaha, and everything that CM Punk gave to Brock Lesnar was able to come back in return. I mean, like, CM Punk waffled Brock with a chair. Not once, but twice. And on the third time he went to connect with the chair, Brock caught the chair in mid-air and was like, forget that, I'm whooping your ass. When I look at a monster like Brock Lesnar, and you see a guy that has been known to be called a vanilla midget like CM Punk, there's no way in the world I'm going to give this guy a chance in hell to beat this guy. I know that some people have said that there's going to be some sort of like a double turn, but in my mind that makes no sense at all. Why CM Punk would come back at Payback, turn babyface to only come to SummerSlam, what is that, 2 shows later, and then now he's become a heel again, and this is supposed to jumpstart him as a major heel. It's just that little 2-month run as a babyface guy, and that, Brock Lesnar and CM Punk will reveal some big plan that they've been together all along to screw over Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is Paul Heyman's moneymaker. If Paul Heyman is the client of Brock Lesnar, and that, if you think of it in storyline, that he makes a chunk of money for every time that Brock fights, it makes no sense at all for him to end that relationship. This fight has always been about CM Punk and Paul Heyman. But the match that we're paying to see at SummerSlam is Lesnar versus Punk. And going into this, I have no hype to it at all. I know there's one more Raw, and that they're going to hype, and Brock Lesnar is going to be there. And next week, Paul Heyman said that he's the one that's going to go down into the ring and look for some sort of a confrontation with CM Punk. He's going to square up and say, it's going to be me and you, one-on-one in the ring. He's looking for a confrontation. I don't know where that's going to go, because Punk has been searching for to fight Paul Heyman for weeks now. He's got his hands on him every time, and every time somebody comes from the back to help him out, that being Brock. I love how Brock came to save Heyman, but still came out on the ramp and still did his little jump and dance routine before he ran down to the ring to square up with Punk. It was like, if you're running down there to save somebody, wouldn't you just, haul ass towards the ring? But he had to come out there, walk to the left and do that little Brock Lesnar jump thing before then he went down there, and then they got it on. But I don't know. I mean, the first confrontation we got, Lesnar just murdered CM Punk. Yeah, CM Punk kept getting up and kept on wanting to continue the fight, and he wasn't ready to throw it in. But he got his ass kicked. And then, this week, they square up again, and actually, Punk is actually giving it to Lesnar, but Lesnar's not, selling anything that he's giving. It's just, if it's going to be any kind of a match, it's just going to be, Brock Lesnar beating the hell out of CM Punk and just leaving him laying in the ring. This is the one part that, sort of gives away, what's going to happen, is that, I guess they've already revealed that Brock Lesnar is not going to be in Anaheim for the Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam, which makes you think, why wouldn't they bring Lesnar to Raw if he's going to be, showing off his big victory? Which tells me Punk's going to win because Punk's going to be there. Well, that's at least what I would have to think. I mean, why would Brock not be there unless he was, embarrassed that he lost and then he hightails it out of there? They're not going to sell some big injury. It's not like fucking Punk's going to kill him or anything like that. If anything, he's going to get lucky and he's going to roll him up. And do you think Brock would I don't think Brock would tap out to CM Punk. I know they're good friends and buddies and all like that, but Brock has to, he has to really look out for himself here. And I mean, he's involved in this 3-year deal, and I know he doesn't wrestle every month, and there's times and there's gaps in between each matches that you can sort of forget about what happened at his last match. But he's got to get pinned, or some sort of a fluke where he gets knocked out with something and then he gets pinned. I don't really see him tapping out to the Anaconda Vice. There's no way in the world I see that happening. I don't see a rematch happening because I don't really see Brock Lesnar as the kind of guy who's going to show up at freaking Night of Champions for a rematch, even if it is against CM Punk. We saw what happened with rematches with him and Triple H at WrestleMania and Extreme Rules. Nobody cared about the second match. They only really wanted to see that first match. But I guess all in all, that was the second match. And the third match, anyways, was SummerSlam being the first match last year. Brock's an attraction. We only want to see him fight one time, in my opinion. And much like UFC, if a guy fights one guy, he moves on and he fights somebody else. They might do a rematch down the road, but it's not back to back to back. And I think that's the way they need to look at and the way they need to book Brock Lesnar from here on out. But I'm excited for SummerSlam. I just am not excited for this match at all. To me, it's just a match that they could just leave off the card, and I wouldn't even mind. I mean, I'm pumped. I'm really excited for Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow. I really like when tag teams break up. Cena versus Bryan's got me really pumped for a lot of stuff. But just for some reason, the one thing that's probably going to be the main event, no, I don't think so. I think that Cena and Bryan will still be the main event, especially if they're really teasing us with that that briefcase cash in, because I think that would be one hell of a way to end the show. Is for Daniel Bryan to be celebrating that win, maybe even tease it by putting that WWE logo in the bottom left-hand corner, like they're really signing off. And that's when Orton comes out, and it's, oh shit, we're back into business. The RKO, and it's over. 1, 2, 3, and just end it just like that. Just so you're sitting at home and you're in full on like yes mode, and you're like yesing it up, and then the thing just cuts you off the block, and then you're like, fuck. When's Raw start on Monday? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. What are you guys thinking? Have fun, everybody. It's Monday. No, it's Tuesday. Fuck that. Peace out.